But it could be for anything, really. I just bring up financial independence because that's what we achieved. And I can tell you with experience of how we achieved it. Hello everyone, this is Ronan Blue, just taking my daily walk here today. And today's question would be on how much money should you save from your income? So you might think that this is a pretty simple question to answer. But when you look at the finer details of it, it actually isn't as simple as you might think. So it really depends on what your savings goals would be. I mean, from my perspective, the ultimate goal would be towards your retirement, whether it be early retirement or traditional retirement. But it could be simply towards your children's college fund, or it could be towards paying off your mortgage. It could be towards something that's particular to you, but our savings goals are very much different from yours because we actually had the intent of reaching financial independence. And we actually followed what's called the savings rate. So that's all based on how much you are determined to save on a monthly basis. So we actually, when we both had our traditional jobs, our savings rate was quite high. At first, when we began, we didn't really think about saving that much. It probably started off as around 15%, but as the years progressed, that savings rate increased, and it increased to sometimes 50% to 60% per month. And it actually became a game for us. You know, we actually month over month easily achieved a 50 to 60% savings rate. And it was a game, yeah, in figuring out how to save money. And it was interesting because for every opportunity to buy something was definitely an opportunity for you to save something. So the game was to use that credit card and get that instant gratification by purchasing that product, or to find an alternative solution where you would get the same kind of gratification, but you wouldn't have to spend as much money. So that was actually the game that we played over the years. And it was just so we didn't feel like we were deprived. And actually worked out for us because in the end, we did achieve our goal of becoming financially independent. And it's an awesome feeling. We're both really happy for that achievement. By having that savings rate in mind and, you know, disciplining yourself to follow it, really you'll find that it dictates everything that you purchase in the future. So whether it be your vehicle or whether it be your home, you want to be able to calculate out and factor in the savings rate before purchasing anything. So, but your savings might be based on like something you want to buy in the next year or something. It really doesn't matter. But of course it's all in your behavior as well. It's definitely about behavior. People always have this mindset that it's probably potentially better to find a way to make more money than to save with what you currently have. And I think it's more difficult for you to find a means to make more money than it is to just simply look at your current situation and save from there. I mean, you can always get that part-time job, but then you'll be working pretty much the whole entire day, maybe the weekends as well. It's going to be extremely hard for you. But if you look at your current situation and adjust some of your lifestyle, and it's very much possible to reach your goals just by simply saving and living below your means and taking on philosophies such as minimalism and living a life of frugality. But of course, there are certain methods you can follow, like the 50-30-20 rule. 50% you would spend on the necessities, food, shelter. 30% you would spend on discretionary items. And they advise you to save at least 20% of your income every month. If you're really disciplined and you really want to reach your goals even sooner, you're obviously going to have to raise that 20% savings rate to something way beyond that. And the way you do so is by living below your means and making sure you set your goals that's realistic with the amount of income that you're getting, and plotting your course. But if your goal is to reach financial independence, there's a number of different methods you can use. But one in particular that we used was the 25 times your expenses method. And what I mean by that is you calculate it out. You have to budget and figure out what your monthly expenses are. And once you know that lump sum at the end of the month, you multiply it by 12 to get your annual expenses. And then once you know your annual, you multiply by 25. And once you know that lump sum, then you calculate out what's called the 4% rule, the 4% withdrawal rule. So you can essentially live in financial independence by withdrawing 4% of the lump sum that you accumulated over the years. Some people actually calculate it out by 30, so just to be on the safer side. But that's the method that we use to get to financial independence. So as an example, if you're looking to make $40,000 a year or spend $40,000 a year in financial independence, then you would need $1 million because you calculate out 4% of that. But looking at that as a standard, if you want to live a lifestyle above $40,000 a year, then you're going to need more than $1 million. But having that guideline really helps you and motivates you as well. And maybe you have a partner where you have a discussion with them and you find out that you have some common goals and you both have dual income to achieve that goal as well. So you can work together to achieve those goals. It's a great journey to be on if both of you agree on the goal of financial independence, as an example. But it could be for anything, really. I just bring up financial independence because that's what we achieved. And I can tell you with experience of how we achieved it and are living the lifestyle that we do today. But simply speaking, it's just you save more and you spend less. That's all it simply is. We've become, expert savers over the last 10 years. And there's probably no situation that we've ever been in where we couldn't find a way to save money. And you really have to build that mindset and try and figure out ways you can save money. For every opportunity that you purchase something, like I said, is an opportunity where you can save. So it takes a little bit of effort for you to just think of inventive ways for you to get that same kind of gratification, but to also save money for the higher purpose for your future goals. So that monthly savings rate every percentage is very important. You know, let's say the first month you achieve 5%. You know, it's something to be proud of. And you move it up to 10% the next month, and then to 15. You know, you slowly inch up, little by little. Because if you go from, let's say, saving 5% per month, and then going to 50% the next month, it's extremely stressful to do so. But if you make those gradual steps on a monthly basis and raise that percentage and make sure you track everything, you know, you're gonna have to use the B word, budgeting, and using a spreadsheet and tracking all your expenses. Then I can guarantee that you'll be extremely satisfied in the end in achieving your own personal goal. So essentially what the savings rate looks like is that if you save 5% a month, it'll take you about 66 years to retire. If you saved 20%, it'll take about 37 years to retire. If you saved 50% per month, then it would take 17 years to retire. And if you saved 75% of your income per month, which is insane but possible, then you can retire in 7 years. So think about that, you know, as a guideline when you're saving towards retirement anyways, but it could be for anything. And it's a good guideline to follow. And most of society actually recommends you save 20%, which would lead you to traditional retirement in 37 years. So by that time, you should have a nice little cushion, a good net worth to live the rest of your life. But for those who want early retirement, the best savings rate to target would probably be 50 to 60%, which we did. And it definitely does work if you maintain that savings rate on a monthly basis of 50% or more. So I've actually know of people who save 75%. I mean, not personally, but for me, it's not, it's pretty crazy because I felt that 50% and 60% was a lot of savings, but the 75% would be doing the extreme, and I can't really imagine it, but it is possible. It depends on how much you want it, but it's definitely all about paying yourself first, right? So the way you do it, there's a number of ways. One way that I highly suggest you do is using automatic payments. So that's a great way to do forced savings. And you can just simply set it up from whatever banking institution that you use. And you just route those funds to a savings account if you wanted. But me personally, savings account, especially with the US Federal Reserve lowering its interest rates to near zero, it's not really the wisest decision at this point in time. You can find better yield there just by simply investing into the stock market and finding some good yields by investing into dividends or mutual funds or index funds or ETFs. A number of different choices there. And the interest rates there range from around 3% to 7%, whereas a traditional savings account, you hardly get anything. You know, it used to be 1% to 2% just over a year ago, but now it's probably way less than that ever since the US Federal Reserve has cut their interest rates. So the prime rates and everything has lowered. So, but my best advice to you is maybe to put your extra savings into something that's would be into a stable company. And there are a few, even during this pandemic, that are quite stable. But if you are experiencing some hardship right now, and you're not able to even reach that savings rate, you may want to put a dollar figure on it instead, like making sure to save $100 per month, or even $25 per month. Small steps every month until you achieve a goal where you're ready to take on the savings rate. So there are situations like that too, depending on your age. But the point is to take advantage of that compound interest, right? And exponentially grow your wealth once you are able to save enough and invest, and then grow on a monthly basis and reinvest, grow and reinvest. And you'll find that it becomes a lot more easier over the years if you keep following that path of saving and investing, saving and investing. And not only do you have your income, but you're also getting the dividends that come in on a monthly or quarterly or annual basis. So your own income adds on top of that, and then you just go ahead and invest it, and it just keeps growing. And there's a lot of fear right now in investing into the stock market, but it's actually been shown that there's a definite disconnect between Main Street, the economy, where all the jobs are, and the stock market. And the disconnect is that, well, if you take a look at the stock market right now, it's completely inflated. And the reason being is because the central banks of the world will do anything and everything to make sure to prop up the stock market. And they do so by using their methods to jumpstart the economy of QE stimulus, quantitative easing, and also their own monetary measures to make sure to artificially prop up the markets. And from that perspective, you'll see that investing might be a safer choice than you think compared to some of the other options out there. And if you think about it, that's really the only place where you can find yield at this time. And we are taking full advantage of this situation right now. And whatever surplus we get, we definitely are investing to get that higher yield, because we all know in the end that we're going to get past all of this. And I think the economy is going to get better going forward. Well, I think I end my vlog here today. Tell me what you think of how much you should save for your income in the comment section below. Maybe you are already saving an amount, but some of the points that I mentioned may have broadened your perspective on maybe saving more. Tell me in the comment section below. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.